Okay, a woman on the left here is Janet Porter. She's created a MAGA sitcom. A MAGA sitcom. It's so bad, dude. I've talked about it before, but there are new episodes, new clips coming out. It's so entertaining. I sat here for 3 hours the other day and recorded it directly on my phone. Every episode that was available. I don't know where to find these episodes. If somebody knows, please tell me. At me in the chat or leave a comment or something. I would love to have the full episodes. Anyway, they did this whole, like, they did a dance. It was kind of imitating the YMCA dance. Just give this a listen. A MAGA sitcom. Young man, are you trying to pray?
We're going to take it about away. Did you say God said that's okay? God say we're saying thing.
Did you say God's name? That's okay because it was in vain? I don't understand what the hell that means. It's fun to sue when you're the ACLU. Oh my God. They got a laugh track in the background. Oh my God, it's so bad. What was funny about that? Why'd they put a laugh track in? It's so stupid.
You're right. That's what we enjoy. We'll see every girl. We'll see every boy. We're gonna end AGA. We say we're gonna end.
Look, they got Trump in the background dancing. You see? Anybody ever notice that Trump looks like he's taking part in a private party, if you will, with a couple of guys next to him? When he dances, he does this. Anybody ever notice? It's just kind of like this. Hanging out at a private party with some dudes. All right, let's watch Trump do that more.
We say we're gonna end AGA. We can say Merry Christmas and we can pray. Thanks, President Trump, for the MAGA.
Oh my God, it's so bad. I love it. I love everything about it. Oh God. All right, so like I said, I went through a bunch of episodes the other night. I went through 4 episodes, and each one was an hour long with commentary and everything. So I sat there and I recorded everything. It took me forever. And I clipped some of it out. Listen to what they were talking about here. They're sitting at their job, at their work, getting ready to go. And she's talking about, I think, communism here.
Oh, wait, listen to this. Instead of hold music, they've got Ronald Reagan's famous speeches. Here we go.
Open this gate. Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Okay.
Before President Trump, Ronald Reagan was my favorite.
Knock me over with a feather. You're a Reagan fan? Wow. Who would have expected?
Class to go hear him speak. But I got a teachable moment for you. You ready? What is yet another reason why we know socialism is a colossal failure?
What?
When the Berlin Wall came down, nobody ran to the east. Everyone ran to freedom.
Okay. Is she aware that socialism is not communism? I wrote a whole book on this subject, owenmorgan.com. It's on Amazon. Was Hitler an Atheist is the name of the book. It's on Audible, too, if you want to give it a read on Audible. Anyway, after Germany fell in 1945, I think May 1945 is when the Soviets took Berlin. Anyway, after that happened, each different ally, British, French, American, Soviets, they each had their own zone that they were responsible for. And the western portion of Germany was controlled by the Soviets, by the Russians. And it was real ugly when they first took it over because I don't know how else to say it, they used it as like a weapon of war. It was a punishment on the German people for what Hitler did. And truthfully, the vast majority of the German people did not support what Hitler did. In my opinion, I think that it was about 10% actively opposed what Hitler was doing. about 20 to 25% actively supported what Hitler was doing. And then the other 60 something, 70% were just kind of going along, doing their thing, and just following the rules as they were supposed to follow them. And when the Soviets flooded in to Germany, into Berlin, there was just like a massive wave of across the country. And, you know, abortion rates shot through the roof. And there was a rumor going around that Stalin was trying to prevent abortion because he wanted to see a racial shift in Germany. I mean, it was real ugly stuff. They were like, you know, they were bad. You know, the Soviets were really bad. And the way that they implemented communism was bad. What does that have to do with socialism? Does she know what socialism is? You know who she is? She's the lawyer that wrote the heartbeat bill, the first heartbeat bill. That was her. She came up with it. Socialism at the time was just a system designed to fight for workers' rights. That's it. If you're a socialist, it means you stand for universal health care, you believe in unemployment insurance, end-of-life pensions like Social Security, for example, those types of things. Workers' rights, unions, that's what a socialist was at the time. Today, a socialist system is one in which no single person owns a company. Each individual worker owns stock in the company, owns a share, basically. And the more they work, the harder they try to improve conditions for the company, and the better they market and all that stuff, the higher their stock value will go. And it's a motivation for people to work to build the company more, basically. So it's kind of like a democratized workplace versus a dictatorship-like workplace. Like right now, we live in a system where Mark Zuckerberg owns and controls everything in Facebook, like all of it, because he started it. It's all his. I mean, you know, he's sold some of his shares and he has a board that he has to work with or whatever, but he is the owner of Facebook and the founder, the creator. In a socialist system, that wouldn't be the case. The guy that founded it would have a lot of stock, certainly, but the CEO would be voted for by the people, and everybody's boss all the way up the chain is voted for by the subordinates. So anyway, that's what socialism really is. Now, how is that similar to communism exactly, where the state controls all of it? You have to get permission from the state to hire or fire anybody, and all of the money is completely controlled on a granular level by the state. How are those things similar, like, at all? Is she aware that there are differences here? Or, I mean, as a lawyer, I would think that she would know, right? I'm not a lawyer. I'm just some fucking asshole, and I happen to know this stuff.
Everyone ran to freedom.
You know, the socialist slogan should be, you make it, we take it.
But that's not what socialism is. Like, what does that even mean? What are you talking about?
I don't understand the confusion. The love of socialism could be cured with a single field trip to Cuba, to Venezuela, or California.
Right.
What?
Let's do an exchange. We bring the freedom lovers here, and we send the socialists to Venezuela or Cuba, where socialism has worked so well. People are...
You know what the real problem is in those countries? Corruption and authoritarianism. That is why, in my opinion, communism is doomed to fail every time, because corruption slips into the system. I don't believe it's possible to correct for that corruption in a communist system. Not right now, anyway. I haven't seen any evidence that it could. Socialism, like workers' rights, a democratized workplace, what does that have to do with, like, a dictatorship in Cuba or whatever? I don't understand. This is just wild to me.
Eating rancid meat out of dumpsters.
Oh, thanks for spoiling my lunch.
This guy is actually really funny. I like his character so much. Big fan. It's a shame that he is an evangelical extremist who wants to kill gay people, because I would really appreciate his character otherwise.
Thanks for spoiling my lunch. Call him later. Come on, let's go.
It can only take so much at a time.
They're not dating, FYI. It seems like they are. I mean, this right here made it seem like they were dating. They're not. This cat is licking my hand. You guys can't see it. There you go. Now you can see her licking my hand. Where was I? Good kitty. She licks my hand so that I pet her, and she's giving me the privilege of giving her a bath, pretty much, without getting my eyes scratched out. Okay, cool. Let's switch back to this. It's like watching Chinese propaganda, I know. Well, it's like watching any propaganda, not just Chinese propaganda. All right, check this one out. This is another clip from another episode where they just like lay into socialism and communism again.
Ready, set, go.
Jack stuck with facial hair.
Go team.
Say something in Spanish.
Yo tengo ojos bonitos azules.
A place where a dog lives. Obviously.
Pet shit.
Community group you hate.
I don't really hate
Exact.
it. The homeowners association.
A community group you hate? The homeowners association? Okay, most people don't like those, I don't think.
Who are
communists.
favorite president?
Who are communists? The HOA is communist. How? What are you talking about? How does the state control? Does she even know what communism is? These people are so full of
Who are
communists.
favorite president besides Trump?
Ronald Reagan.
He said,
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
prove social.
Dude, she is obsessed with Reagan's tear down this wall quote.
Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Prove socialism doesn't work.
Nobody ran to the east.
And Trump's going to.
Make America great again.
Why does he say that? Because she watches
Fake news.
She getting with
CNN.
who's
Okay, wow. So I think he said prove socialism doesn't work. No one ran to the east. These are two different episodes, by the way, that I pulled these from. This is just like a talking point that they try to spread.
Why does he say that? Because she watches
Fake news.
She getting with
CNN.
whose viewers are
Captive travelers at airports.
something you have to do every day when you lose it.
On my cell phone.
But sometimes.
Not every day.
Sometimes.
Twice a day.
Yes. The man you want to marry.
Jack Lauer.
Yes. Secret crush.
I don't really have.
Congressman.
Louis Gohmert.
Oh, God, Louis Gohmert. No, she has a secret crush on Louis Gohmert. Who the hell likes Louis Gohmert, of all people? We'll hit him in a second.
Opposite of the golden rule.
The metric system.
The two people who know you best at the party.
Mom. Lori.
Who knows you the very best?
Jack.
Yes.
Okay, wow. Let me just show you Louis Gohmert. He's not a congressman anymore, by the way. I don't know if you guys knew, but we voted him out, which is a huge deal. Like, that's really big. He was in Congress for, like, ever. Since the early 2000s, I think. And we finally got him out. Oh, my God. Mickey is a long-haired cat, and there's hair everywhere when you pet her. It's just, like, floating in the air. You're inhaling it. Anyway, let's just watch, like, a couple of Louis Gohmert clips. If you don't know him, oh, my God, buckle up. This is probably his most famous clip of all time. It's a clip titled, "Don't Cast Aspersions on My Asparagus."
The gentleman's characterization of the Attorney General's answer is not appropriate exercise of the gentleman's right of personal privilege.
All right,
So
Mr.
the gentleman
Chairman,
has
point of
exercised
personal
that right.
privilege.
The gentleman may complete his statement, and then we'll move on.
All right, thank you. The Attorney General made statements that what I said was not true, when actually the reverse is what happened.
No, he's lying, obviously. Louis Gohmert was lying, and he was called on it.
I asked the Attorney General what was asked. This
regular
is
order.
my point of personal privilege, and then the gentleman...
No, it's not a
Please
point of
state.
personal privilege.
Yes, it is.
But it's not. Like, that's not how Congress works. Are you shitting me right now? He knows this. He was in Congress for, like, ever. By the way, this is 2013. This is mid-May 2013.
So when you attack somebody's integrity and say they made statements that were not true, then of course that raises a point of personal privilege. But the Attorney
That's just like, he's so full of shit with everything that he says.
General failed to answer my question.
Gentleman will
about what
suspend.
was
After what he
Gentlemen,
went back
gentlemen,
there. That was regular order, Mr. Chairman.
aspersions
Gentlemen,
on my
suspend.
asparagus.
Whoa, wait. I'm sorry. One more time. What was that last line?
That was regular order, Mr. Chairman.
Aspersions
Gentlemen,
on my
suspend.
asparagus.
Don't cast aspersions on my asparagus.
My asparagus.
The
Dude's got asparagus, okay? Don't cast aspersions on that. It doesn't deserve it. What did that even mean? Why did he even say that?
If the election in 2020 goes the wrong way,
Yeah, this is from 2019, mid-October. It says right before voting happened last round.
we're done. We'll keep fighting. You know, people have said, yeah, you'd been one of the last ones at the Alamo, probably. But it's a cause worth fighting for. Now,
What's a cause worth fighting for? He's saying if Trump loses, then he's going to keep fighting? What?
if hate crime legislation is not changed, I said it back when it was being brought up. If this passes, someday it'll be used to prosecute Christian ministers for reading from the Bible.
Oh, give me a break.
And they thought I was talking about homosexuality. I didn't want to give them any ideas, but what I had in my mind back then was someday they're going to come after Christians for saying, Jesus said, I'm the way, the truth, and the life. No one goes to the Father but by me. That's hateful. That's mean-spirited.
He has created this whole fictitious scenario in his head where he's being persecuted and then telling everybody that this is totally going to happen. Oh, my God. Here's a clip of Louis Gohmert. God, I'm so glad he's out of office now. Remember, he is Janet Porter's crush. Here's Louis Gohmert with Marjorie Taylor Greene complaining. I think they're at one of the prisons where the January 6th prisoners are being kept. They just showed up there, wanted to see them and talk to them or whatever. You can't do that. Like, you have to schedule stuff and arrange it.
To match them. We have been denied the ability to go back and have a tour. We've been denied even a phone call.
Yeah, head, you can't just call anybody you want. I'm sorry, I'm not like that. I'm not going to do that. You can't, look, they're prisoners because they broke the law and their rights are limited. So they can't just like go in and talk to you whenever they want or whatever. They can't like walk out. You can't send them a cell phone or whatever. It's stupid. There are rules that they have to follow because their rights are limited.
So that's why we're here today at her office to say you need to give us a visit. You owe this to all of the people that we represent across the country. And then this city needs cleaned up. There's homeless people all over the city. Crime.
Okay, what does that have to do with the January 6th people exactly?
It's out of control, and it has a jail that is clearly a dangerous place for people.
And suddenly she cares about the jail. Not any other jail. She doesn't care what's happening in ADX Florence Supermax. She doesn't give a shit if prisoners are not being fed on time or being fed appropriate food to keep them alive or whatever. She cares about the January 6th people very specifically. She's not a champion for prisoners' rights.
To be because they're dying last week, and then these pretrial January 6th defendants have been held months on end, being abused as political prisoners of war by not only federal judges.
Prisoners of war. That means she believes that they are on an oppositional side. They have like declared war on the United States government. And if she really believes that, then this is her giving aid and comfort to an avowed enemy of the United States. And that is treason. Like, that's actually treason. If what she's saying is true, she is committing treason right now. She knows that this is completely made up. She knows it. She must, right?
Prosecutors of the Department of Justice, but also the D.C. jail where Kathleen Landerkin is probably still the deputy warden, and she says herself how much she hates Republicans.
Oh my God, dude. She is so obnoxious and ridiculous. So yeah, that's Louis Gohmert is the point. He's just...
We have heard repeatedly since January 6th, this was an armed insurrection. And as I asked Merrick Garland, and I've asked others, is there anybody been charged with insurrection? And the answer,
yes, there have. Are you kidding? Dude, it is so stupid. It's so stupid. It's almost like it has to be satire, but it's not.
And the answer is actually no.
Yes. Okay, this was a year after the election. This was a full, well, actually, it was 13 months after the election, and it was 11 months after Biden's inauguration. Okay, so they had already charged a bunch of January 6th people. They had been sitting in jail for like a year up to this point when he said this. So tell me, dumb as dog or a liar? Which one?
Has there anybody been charged with insurrection? And the answer is actually no. No one has been charged with insurrection. In fact, if they were going to charge with someone with insurrection, it's beginning to sound more and more like those would be agents for the federal government that were there stirring things up, trying...
Oh, please. Anyway, yeah, that's Louis Gohmert. That's their stupid, terrible MAGA sitcom and Janet Porter. Oh my God, dude.
We'll take all your rights. It's what we enjoy. We'll steal every girl. We'll see what every boy. We're gonna invade.
Ugh, God. Tell me what you think about it in the comments. It's so bad.